Hello, my dear students. Welcome you all to Sri Jain Rank Zone classes. I am your mentor and your friend for the subject biology, and I will be taking animal science, that is zoology section. Friends, today we are going to study about the most important topic in human health and disease. Among the most important topic, rather, I should say, that is AIDS. AIDS stands for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Okay, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. As the name says, that it is not a disease, it is a syndrome, mean a particular disease if it is manifested by many symptoms, many clinical symptoms matching with different diseases. Okay, so if a person is having multiple symptomatic expressions, which actually gives a state of confusion that the person might suffer from these multiple diseases, so that is syndrome. Okay, AIDS was first reported in 1981. It was first detected in homosexual males in USA at Center for Disease Control, Atlanta. Okay, so it was first detected in homosexual males in USA at Center for Disease Control, Atlanta. It has resulted to more than 25 million deaths. HIV is more common in India. HIV-1 is more common in India. HIV-2 is more common in West Africa. Okay. It is characterized by a decrease in number of T helper cells. Human immunodeficiency virus. HIV stands for human immunodeficiency virus. Okay. So it is characterized by decrease in number of T helper cells. Okay. T helper cells, you know that these cells, they don't produce antibodies, but they help B cells to produce antibodies, and they help cytotoxic T cells to perform their action. Understood? Now, human immunodeficiency virus, HIV. It is roughly spherical. It is around 60 times smaller than a red blood cell, 60 times smaller than a red blood corpuscle. Okay. It is composed of two copies of single-stranded RNA. Single-stranded RNA. The RNA are enclosed by a conical capsid composed of 2000 copies of the viral protein, that is P24. So it is roughly spherical. It is around 60 times smaller than the red blood corpuscle. It is composed of two copies of single-stranded RNA. An RNA is enclosed by a conical capsid having 2000 copies of viral protein, that is P24. The RNA is tightly bound to nucleocapsid proteins. Okay, so RNA is tightly bound to nucleocapsid proteins. A matrix composed of viral protein P17 surrounds the capsid. So just note down the proteins like P24. Okay, it is present in the capsid, viral protein P24. RNA is tightly bound to nucleocapsid proteins. A matrix composed of viral protein P17. The P17 is present in matrix. P24, the conical capsid. The matrix is surrounded by the viral envelope that is composed of two layers of phospholipids. Viral envelope is basically made up of two phospholipid layers. So the matrix is surrounded by the viral envelope that is composed of two layers of phospholipids. A viral protein, some host proteins are embedded in the envelope. Some of the viral proteins and some of the host proteins, they are embedded in the envelope. This glycoprotein enables the virus to attach to and fuse with the target cells. So it is roughly spherical, 60 times smaller than blood cell, red blood corpuscle, composed of two copies of single-stranded RNA. RNA is surrounded by a capsid which is made up of a protein, that is viral protein P24. RNA is tightly bound to nucleocapsid proteins. A matrix composed of a protein P17. Then matrix is surrounded by an envelope which is having two phospholipid layers. a viral protein, and the host proteins, they are embedded in the phospholipid layer, and this glycoprotein enables the virus to attach and fuse with the target cells. Understood? Mode of transfer. Before going to the mode of transfer, HIV-1 and HIV-2, I will, tell you the differences. HIV-1 versus HIV-2, basically, HIV-1 is the more common type, and HIV-2 is found in West Africa, okay, Mozambique and Angola. HIV-1 is more pathogenic, HIV-2 is less pathogenic. Then, the duration of HIV-2 infection is shorter, while in case of HIV-1 is longer, okay. So these are some common differences between HIV-1 and HIV-2. Then there are some protein differences, like the envelope proteins, they are different, okay, and there are many more. So this is the difference between HIV-1 and HIV-2. Now coming to next, modes of transfer. Due to unprotected sexual intercourse with infected partners. Due to unprotected sexual intercourse with infected partner. Okay. Contact of blood with infected tissue. Okay, contact of blood with infected tissue. A person or the any blood or serum or semen. Okay. So contact of blood with infected tissue. Use of unsterilized material for tattooing or any practice that punctures the skin. If the materials which are used on the skin or body surface, they are not sterilized, then they may cause the contamination. From mother to fetus during pregnancy, vertical transmission. From mother to child during lactation. From mother to child during lactation. Okay. When it can cause the lactogenic barrier and placental barrier. AIDS does not spread through just touching, laughing, or hugging, or sharing meals, shaking hands, mosquito bites, coughing, sneezing. AIDS cannot spread through all these. Now I will write the previous slide. HIV-1 more common in India. It is more common in the world. And HIV-2 is most common in West Africa. HIV-1 is more pathogenic. Understood? This is human immunodeficiency virus, Baltimore group 6. They propose the picture, they give the picture. Single-stranded RNA reverse transcription. Single-stranded RNA reverse transcription. RT means reverse transcription. On the surface, they have glycoprotein 120, okay? Glycoprotein 41, proteins P7 and 9. These are the proteins P7 and 9. Integrase enzyme, reverse transcriptase enzyme, matrix protein P17. This is matrix protein P17. This is nucleocapsid protein P24. So P24 is the nucleocapsid protein. Okay? P24 is the nucleocapsid protein. Glycoprotein are present on the outermost part. Okay, 120 and 41. Proteins P and 7 are studded with the genetic material. Matrix protein P17. Human leukocyte antigen class 2, HLA class 2. Okay, this is HLA class 2. Lipid bilayer membrane, phospholipid layer. This is RNA, protease enzyme, human leukocyte antigen class 1. HLA1, HLA2, they both are present, and that is why it helps them to attach with these all these structures, all these proteins. Help the virus for its pathogenicity. Copy number. ठीक है? So this is human immunodeficiency virus, HIV. Okay. Now, infection. After getting into the body of a person, the virus enters macrophages. First incident. Here the RNA genome of the virus replicates to form viral DNA. Viral RNA replicates to form viral DNA and makes use of cellular machinery. Make use of cellular machinery to produce more and more virus particles. Okay. Here the RNA genome of the virus replicates to form viral DNA and makes use of cellular machinery to produce more and more virus particles. HIV enters the T helper cells and continue to multiply. First is macrophage, then it replicates to form viral DNA and make the use of cellular machine to produce more and more virus particles, viroids. HIV enters T helper cells and continue to multiply. The progeny of viruses are released into the blood. They attack the T helper cells. The progeny of viruses are released into the blood and they attack T helper cells. This leads to a progressive decrease in number of T helper cells. It helps to decrease the number of T helper cells very much. The person suffers from fever, diarrhea, and weight loss. Person suffers from fever, diarrhea, and weight loss. Due to decrease in number of T helper cells, the person suffers from infections that the immune system otherwise could not overcome. Okay. Due to decrease in number of T helper cells, the person suffers from multiple opportunistic infections that the immune system otherwise could have overcome. Opportunistic infections mean they are just waiting for an opportunity. Okay, opportunistic infections. The persons become immunodeficient. So after getting into the body of a person, virus enters the macrophages. From macrophages, it replicates. It goes to T helper cells. Okay, the progeny of the viruses then release into the blood. They attack other T helper cells. Okay, this lead to progressive decrease in number of T helper cells. The person suffers from fever, diarrhea, weight loss. Due to decrease in number of T helper cells, the person suffers from infections that the immune system otherwise could have overcome. Opportunistic infections. Okay. This is the multiplication of retrovirus. This is the retrovirus viral protein code, viral RNA code comes in the host. Viral DNA is produced by reverse transcriptase. Okay, the viral RNA it converts into viral DNA by the process of reverse transcription or a reverse transcriptase enzyme. Then the viral DNA it incorporates into the host genome. Okay, it incorporates into the host genome. New viral RNA is produced by the infected cell. Now, viral DNA, when it undergo transcription, it forms viral RNA. Viral RNA, it further produces new viruses. New viruses are produced. New viruses can infect the other cells. Okay. So this is the cellular machinery of animal cell which is used or hijacked by the HIV virus or the retrovirus for its, uh, metabolic function of reproducing, of increasing their number. Okay, is that understood? So the viral genome it enters in the cell, okay, and it converted into a DNA. Then DNA matches with the DNA of host, and with the help of the host DNA, it forms the RNA, DNA dependent RNA polymerase enzyme. Okay, and in this way it can infect or spread the infection. Okay. At the time of entry of this viral genome into the host cell, there are some species which produce interferons. These gamma interferons or alpha interferons, they are basically produced by the bacterial cells. That is confirmed. Humans do produce. But the fact is whether the interferons are produced at the time of HIV replication, retroviral replication or not. Okay. So the interferons, they interfere with the viral replication. Agents which interfere with viral replication. Understood? Now coming to next. Symptoms. The person goes asymptomatic because the immune system is deficient. Okay, so all the symptoms are surprised because symptoms, they are the signs of the body that immune system is working. So if the immune system is deficient, the symptoms are not there, asymptomatic, or it is the virus in its latent phase. For 5 to 10 years, antibodies are not produced against HIV. For 5 to 10 years, antibodies are not produced against HIV. There are no specific symptoms. ELISA test comes out to be negative. A fever and some illness may occur in 2 to 4 weeks after the infection. Okay, fever and some illness may occur 2 to 4 weeks after infection. Full-blown AIDS. A person suffers from fever, diarrhea, and weight loss. Okay, chronic diarrhea, fever, and weight loss. Person becomes immunodeficient. Persons get infected by opportunistic infections. Opportunistic infections, they don't generally infect the person because of its healthy body or immune system, upgraded immune system. But these opportunistic infections, they get their way to get entry into the host because of the immune deficiency. Okay. The opportunistic infections include toxoplasmosis, Kaposi's, and Burkitt's lymphoma, like that. Okay. The person may suffer from Kaposi sarcoma, Burkitt's lymphoma, primary central nervous system lymphoma, and cervical cancers. So these can be the sufferings of a person, okay, having a full-blown AIDS. Suffering from pneumonia, tuberculosis is possible, lead to multiple organ dysfunction. Understood? Diagnosis is treatment. Diagnosis screening test is done by ELISA, enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. Okay, men based on antigen antibody complement fixation. Antibody complement fixation. It is a sensitive test for detection of the proteins. Okay, Western blot test for antibodies. Western blot test for antibodies. Okay, against HIV in the patient serum. PCR based test is also done. So ELISA is screening and Western blot test is for confirmation. Reverse transcriptase inhibitors. It includes zidovudine. So I will write confirmatory test. Screening. Reverse transcriptase inhibitors are zidovudine, previously called AZT, stavudine, okay, trizivir, and forscarnet. These are all are reverse transcriptase inhibitors. Then dideximidine, DDI, dideximidine. Protease inhibitors are ritonavir, nelfinavir. They are protease inhibitors. Okay. Then hard, highly active antiretroviral therapy includes both reverse transcriptase and protease inhibitor drugs. Combination of protease inhibitors and reverse transcriptase drugs is hard, highly active antiretroviral therapy. Treatment does not cure. Okay, treatment is not cure. Only helps to reduce viral load because it is just controlling the copy number of the viral or the viroids, and that is why it is just reducing the viral load. It is not actually curing it. It is not killing the virus. Okay. So these are the diagnostic methods of diagnosis. ELISA screening, Western blot confirmatory test, PCR-based test is also there. Then reverse transcript inhibitors, zidovudine, AZT, stavudine, forscarnet, DDI, dideximidine, okay, and protease inhibitors, ritonavir, nilfenavir, hard, highly active antiretroviral therapy, which includes both reverse transcriptase and inhibitors and protease inhibitors. Prevention. Prevention, use of appropriate contraceptives, protection, condoms during sexual intercourse, proper sterilization of surgical equipment during any invasion. Okay. Use of disposable instruments for any body puncture or practice, avoiding intravenous drugs, and sharing of needles, razors, etc., creating social awareness. So this is the mode of prevention of HIV or AIDS. Okay, and you all know it's very common. Okay, so, okay, my dear friends, that's for today. We will be coming with the next videos on this chapter, human health and diseases, starting with the protozoal diseases. Okay, till then, bye bye, take care, stay safe.